It's a sign on the door.
You in?
The sign's always there on the door. 4.
You on it? Hiya, it's Ryan Brierley. I just want to say a massive thank you to all the supporters who's voted me June's Player of the Month. I'm here to answer some questions.
We love you, Ryan.
Out the back, Brierley into the line. Brierley with a pace to go through. He's got support, he might not need it. He gets a pass away. Ryan Brierley with a break. The former Rovers man slices through.
I liked when Jack Grealish did it, but there's a bit of a misconception. I actually did it first a couple of years back, and I brought it back. But it come from. I just think as rugby players, we probably face a lot of criticism, don't we? So I think it's my way, especially when I score, of silencing the critics as such. So yeah, it's more of a lot of stuff gets said about us and rugby league players, so it's just nice to keep the critics quiet for a little bit and make it as if that we can't hear them, because that's it, it can get pretty loud, can't it? So I think it's important to focus on your own journey, your own job, and block out all the noise as such. Came from Paul Rowley when I was at Lee. Paul Rowley and John Duffy. There's a film called Kes, obviously for the older fans, they'll understand what it is, and they say I look like Billy Casper when I was young, so obviously dead tall, skinny legs, and just like a bit of a rat of a boy really, so kind of come from that, and obviously it's stuck ever since. It's weird, like when people call me Ryan now, I never really answer to it, it's not like it's me, so yeah, Kes has been the sticking one for quite a while now. Weird, just bizarre, because I never thought it'd ever happen. Obviously when you grow up and you want to be a rugby player, obviously my dream was to play for Salford. I didn't think about anything else. I didn't think about fans singing your name and stuff. It was weird to know that it happens now and on a regular basis, so it must mean I'm doing something all right. But yeah, I just think that'll never get old to me, and I'll never be able to tell you how it feels or tell you how, I don't know, how to react to it, because I don't know. It's just a really bizarre feeling, one I'll never get used to, and one that obviously it's a really emotional part of a match day, isn't it, for me and my family. So it's brilliant, but again, I don't have any words for how it feels, because it's just weird. Probably idols. I think when I look back to my childhood and growing up, it was always looking at people who you aspire to be, I think. It's probably a little bit different for me as a player now, because obviously I want to do well for my family and my kids and stuff like that, so that inspires me now to play. But I think when you're a kid, I think you just think about the people you want to be, don't you? You want to idolise players, and also when I was a kid growing up, it was Steve Blakely and Gavin Clinch, Luke Robinson, people like that who was at Salford who I wanted to emulate. So I think I'd presume most people are like me, that they find an idol who they stick with and that's who they want to be. And I think that's probably the main point in kids' development, is that they want to focus on being a certain individual. I think, not to sound dark because it's a bit of a cop out this, but just a general day-to-day of being here. I think when I was a young boy, my dream was to play for Salford. So a lot of people have dreams about doing this or doing that, but mine was to play for Salford. So every day is the biggest accomplishment for me because I never thought it'd happen. And no matter what, when my career's done, I can always say I achieved my dream because I did what I set out to and I played for Salford. So when in all my books when I was a kid at school, what do you want to be? Well, I want to play for Salford. Well, what about if that doesn't happen? Well, it will. So that's what I always thought. So I never had a plan B. So I think that the day-to-day of just being a Salford player is the biggest accomplishment for me because especially 4 or 5 years ago when I was going through a rough patch at Toronto and stuff, I never thought this would happen. So the day-to-day, and as well, I think, and you know yourself, I think the day-to-day running of the club and where we are as a team, to be even mentioned about playoffs and title contenders, I think it's just madness from what we are and who we are, and I think that's a massive accomplishment and achievement. The fact that we are mentioned in playoffs and trophies and stuff like that, we are mentioned in them conversations, and also all credit to Rolls and the coaching staff, but to put us in a position where, as a team, we're fighting every week and competing every week to be the top of the table. I just think it's a massive achievement. Even last year, getting to the playoffs semi-final, I think that sort of journey is madness really for a club our size, and that makes me proud and part of the accomplishment about playing for the club. To be part of a team who competes every week. I've been there as a fan when we go to Castleford away and get battered, and I've been there as a fan, so I know how it feels to be bottom of the league and getting beat by some big clubs. So to compete each and every week, that's a big achievement for us. Past and present, or past or present?
Past or present. You do past and present if you want.
I think I'd love to play with Danny Maguire. I think because he was my idol growing up. Obviously, sort of playing at Leeds, and I pretty much based my game around him. So I think he'd be good to play with. I think he'd be as a pass player. One I always used to want to play with was Callum Watkins, and now I get a chance to play him every week because it used to be him passing the ball to Danny Maguire, ironically. So I wanted to be on Cal's side, so now I get the chance to play with him every week, which is a bit of a dream really. It's mad that I get the chance to play with him every week. As a present player from another team, probably someone. It probably have to be someone like, I think he would be best now. Probably it's hard because he plays my position, so I wouldn't play if he played. It's like someone like Sam Tompkins. I wouldn't play because he played, wouldn't he? So someone maybe like Tommy Luluai, I reckon, as a 7 and a 9, I think he'd put me in a lot of space in it. He was just tough as, weren't he? So I think he'd be one who I'd love to play alongside. I think he epitomises what Wigan's success has been over the last couple of years. So it's no secret that they've won a lot of trophies with him in the team. So yeah, he'd be up there. Yeah. The first one against Lee. I think fair play to Lee. I think the event was outstanding. I just thought the whole experience was brilliant. It felt like a grand final for us to come out on top against a very good team, as we're all seeing now, and to go there twice to beat them just shows that we do have some substance in our team. But that first one was extra special to going back to my old club and scoring and getting man of the match and stuff. Just couldn't have gone any better for me. Obviously, having the family in the stand and obviously the fans singing that song at Lee's home ground was pretty ironic. So yeah, loved it. The mental side of it, I think as a fullback, it's similar to being a goalkeeper in football. You are going to make mistakes, and your mistakes get highlighted because it's normally a try on the back of it. So I think I get a lot of questions around that, about young fullbacks coming up and asking me questions about what if you drop it. So you are going to drop balls. I'll drop balls from now till the end of my career. You will drop it. You will make mistakes. You will miss tackles because you're the last one. So no one really remembers the bit before it where they went through about 6 of them. It's always the fullback who has to make the tackle, and if you don't do that, it looks horrendous. So again, I'll make plenty of mistakes going forward. It's a position where you've got to get over your mistakes very quickly, because if you drop a ball within the next minute, there'll be another kick coming your way, and you've got to catch it. So obviously you'll have them freak days where you'll drop everything, and no matter what, you just can't catch a break. There'll be days where you catch everything and make every tackle. So I just think the mental side of it's huge. I think you've just got to get on with it, get on with your mistakes as quick as you can. And I think Sneady's really good at it as a half-back. Just anytime he makes a mistake, just brushes it off, gets on with it and move on. That's the biggest challenge of the full-back. You laugh at my answer to this. So I'd rather win the Super League at Wembley. So a bit of a hybrid. So I always think the Super League is such a tough competition to win. Obviously, I think the Challenge Cup, you only got to win 3 games and then you're there, right? Whereas the Super League, you've got to get into the playoffs as a full 27-round thing. Then you've got to manipulate your way through the playoffs and get to Old Trafford. But I just think Wembley is such an iconic stadium. For every young boy, you dream of Wembley, don't you? That's the big stage. So I think winning this, it never happened with it, but I think winning the Super League trophy at Wembley would be good. Everyone I've spoke to who's won both, they seem to prefer Old Trafford and the grand final. So a lot of players in our team who won both, they seem to, and even when I've been at previous team, they seem to prefer the Old Trafford one. But I think that's something you can beat playing at Wembley. Well, I've never done it ever, so I wouldn't know, but I just think Wembley Stadium, I think as a national team's iconic stadium, I don't think you can get better than that. So, and I'm not a Man United fan, so Bob being at Old Trafford doesn't bother me. I think we've earned a good spot. I think we're joint 6th, aren't we, on goal difference. I think we've earned a good spot from the work we've done in the early parts of the season. We've faltered a little bit last 4 or 5 games, but I think let's get the elephant out of the room. We've been harshly done by in the last couple of games. And again, and Rolls will always mention, we don't really want to go down that route of blaming other things, but there was some big moments in them games what should have gone the other way. So I think if that happens and we win our previous 2-3 games, it looks a lot better than we are doing. But what it does show is that we're that far off, and we're pretty close, and we've been beat by 2 penalty goals against 2 very good teams. So take all the controversy aside, we're still in the shout of winning games. So I think this time last year we was 8th or 9th or something like that before we went in this run. So I think we're in a good spot. We've got a good tough couple of games coming up, but I think this is the running now. I think this is where you need to start picking up points. So 8 games to go, I think we're in a really good place. Dun dun dun.